Welcome back, and we continue with our conversation. The South African police have released the country's latest statistics. We're unpacking them for you this morning. Some key role players with us in studio. We have Theto Mahlakoana. She's the media officer at POPCRU, as well as Gareth Newham from the ISS. Let's pick up where we left off, just wrapping up leadership in the police and the image of the police. Let's talk a little bit about the disruption in the leadership of the Crime Intelligence Unit, especially the Richard Mdluli saga. Has it played a role, if any, in the crime stats, do you think?
Well, certainly all the crimes that require good intelligence to reduce, and these are your car hijackings, your truck hijackings, a lot of your business robberies, and even your house robberies, because those crimes are committed by groups of people, small groups or large groups, but they're organized, they commit the crime over and over again, and they work through networks. So when they steal things, they sell them through other networks. So they establish networks that the police can identify through intelligence processes and then make sure those individuals get arrested and brought to book. So if you have a very strong crime intelligence division, then as we've seen in the past, those crimes tend to go down. However, I think over the last 2 years with the Richard Mdluli saga, it's caused a lot of disruption in that unit. You know, about 5,000 police officials get subject to disciplinary hearings every year on allegations far less serious than those facing Richard Mdluli. So for many police officials, it's very unsettling for them to have their leader or somebody at a very strategic and international position facing very serious charges and seemingly no willpower to take him through the normal processes that all other police officials are subject to. So they start thinking, well, okay, if you're connected or if you're a senior manager, you get subject to a sort of hands-off approach and you can be protected and nothing happens to you. But if one of us does something relatively minor, we'll end up facing a disciplinary hearing, and over 500 police officials get fired every year for that. So when you don't treat people equally throughout the entire organization, whether you're a constable or you're a lieutenant general, you start leading to a breakdown in morale and people stop trusting the leadership, especially if the person's facing very serious allegations. I mean, in the Richard Mdluli case, it's wide-scale corruption, it's murder, it's intimidation, it's kidnapping. And nothing's happening to him. He still hasn't faced a disciplinary hearing. The charges get mysteriously withdrawn, and now we know from the court case last week that the decision to withdraw the charges was irrational and illegal, so there's something else going on there. It really undermines the police, because if you're a hard-working policeman or woman facing danger regularly on your job and you want to help your community, you need to trust your leadership. You need to know that they are honest, that they're hard-working, and that they're going to have your back. But if they are busy getting involved in political fights, if they're doing other work and they're not looking after you, it really undermines your morale. So I think that it's safe to say that the Mdluli issue has had quite a negative effect in the division of crime intelligence, and we've seen a lot of disruption there, and certainly the people we've spoken to say this to us.
Let's go back to the figures now, Peter.
Well, actually, just to wrap up on this thing is, Theto, that's the one side of the equation, which is the leadership. But the other side, of course, is the soldiers on the ground. And I'm just wondering, because I remember you have a traffic accident, you go to the police station, and you'd actually much prefer to fill in the form yourself, because the skill level of some of the police officers isn't as great as it should be. And I'm just wondering, has that started to improve? Because that would go a long way in fighting crime and getting the statistics right. And then you hear stories of crime scenes being violated and spoiled, etc., and cases being thrown out of court because of some of the mistakes that have been made. Has that improved? Is that what's helping these statistics along?
Peter, what our members have been telling us for quite some time now is that they would appreciate more training. And that for us is quite a great thing, for one to recognize that I have shortages of skills here and there, and I need to improve on what I have already. On the case where people go to police stations and don't feel confident about the statements being taken, one can only hope that the situation has indeed improved, because once you are aware of a certain challenge, which was some of the things which were revealed by the Marikana Commission, that statements were not taken properly and so on, one can only improve from that point going forward. And that's what we always encourage the South African Police Service management to do, to ensure that where they do recognize to have shortcomings, to improve upon them, because our members are quite frank that where we know that we need training about this and that, we will come and say we need training for that. A case in point is the current gang violence down in the Western Cape, where members have been recognizing that actually some of the murders which happen on police officers mainly because they may not be wearing bulletproof vests and things like that, so they themselves understand what the
all right.
dynamics on the ground are.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we will chat those statistics. Stay with us.